Welcome to episode 38 of Two Guys, One Sport. We are back after a week away for the holidays.
Yeah, stupid federal holiday threw off our schedule. But we're here on Thursdays.
Yes, we are now moving to Thursday nights because Fridays just have too many scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, between wrestling and the fact that, I like to drink on Fridays and you like to play video games on Fridays and whatever. Now we're here on Thursdays.
It's just the general events of life tend to take place more often on Fridays than Thursdays. For example, I have my company Christmas party tomorrow night.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
You have to dress up?
Yeah, I'm gonna be. It's gonna be interesting because I started going to the gym this week, and I'm going to the gym in the mornings. I'm going to the gym in the mornings before work, so it's like I gotta bring my work clothes with me to change into at the gym, and then I'm gonna have my suit in my car to change into after work. So
that's awesome.
It's gonna be
that's awesome.
The whole mix.
What are you doing at the gym?
Whatever strikes me during the particular day. I've been trying to alternate it so that I do one day of just cardio, and then the next day do a mix of cardio and lifting. Then I do full cardio the next day, then cardio and lifting the day after that, et cetera, et cetera. Just so I gotta get a good mix and keep my body from shutting down on me in the middle of the workday.
2 quick tips.
Yeah.
And this is 2 guys, 1 sport, not 2 guys, 1 deadlift, although we do spray to all fields. If you're going to lift, no more than 20 minutes of cardio before or after.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to kill yourself. And if you can read while doing cardio, you're not doing enough cardio. That's what I tell people all the time. Like the people who read a book while they're on the treadmill, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah,
get a sweat on, put on a video or music or whatever, you know what I mean? But the people who are reading a magazine while they're on the elliptical, you're not doing it right.
Yeah, I stick to music and the occasional YouTube video or something.
I watch the network.
Yeah, but I get off the elliptical and I'm I'm soaked in sweat.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's the people who I'm talking about, the people who read while they walk a mile an hour. You're just wasting your own time. Don't bother.
Yeah, I see this morning even I saw a woman who was on the recumbent bike who was just reading a magazine, and I'm like, you're pedaling at a third of the speed you should be to actually be getting a workout.
I mean, it's just I you don't have to run. I do incline walks and I feel great.
Yeah,
but you should be, at least 120-ish beats per minute.
Yeah,
I'm sure your machines have little heartbeat gimmicks, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Also, don't pay zero attention to the calorie counter.
I don't even bother with that.
Don't even bother. It's especially if you do the elliptical, because I'm tall. I don't use the arms in elliptical because they're for shorter people. Yeah. And it's always you burn 800 calories. No, bitch. I did not burn 800 calories in elliptical. 2,000 calories is what you need to live on the entire day. I did not burn 800 on this 40 minutes on the elliptical. You are full of it.
Yeah. I look at the distance counter and my heart rate, and that's it.
Yeah, the heart rate's key. And for me, I have a whole little routine. I haven't gone in a while because my ass has been killing me. I think I'll go tomorrow. You've talked me into going tomorrow, brother Chris.
Good deal. Good deal, man. It's health season here because you gotta get started early before everybody rushes in and does their New Year's resolutions. And that's also the reason why I'm going in the morning is because
the morning is the bomb.
Every other time I've tried to go to the gym and I do the whole afternoon thing after work, there's always that one day that comes up where I'm like, I've had a hard day at work. I'll take today off and I'll go tomorrow. And I never fucking go back again.
It's tough, man. You got to find a routine and stick to it, no matter what it is. My schedule does not allow me to be mornings because I got to be at work at 7.
Mm-hmm.
But I was one time 2 years ago, the power went out in my building. I work 7 to 5, so I work a long day. I couldn't the power went out in my building, so I'm like, well, I'll just get up an hour early and go to the gym and work out at the gym and then shower there because I didn't have any power, so I had no hot water.
Right.
And it was all I just did the elliptical for half an hour, and then I went to work, and I was so energetic, and my boss was like, "Oh my God, you're so vibrant and alive!" And what happened? I'm like, I went to the gym in the morning, and it was awesome. Yeah. And then at 2 in the afternoon, I wanted to crawl under my desk and take a nap.
Yeah,
but for the first half of the day until lunch, I was so alert and awake, and you know what I mean. So
it's fantastic.
The morning workouts are awesome, especially once you get acclimated to them. Mm-hmm. One of the VPs swears by them, and my company does it three mornings a week. He's like, it's the best thing in the world. Once your body gets used to it, it's just the shot of adrenaline. And I don't know if you're a big caffeine guy, but you'll cut back on that, which is nothing but good for you.
Yeah.
Because like
I actually made the switch to tea a few
that's
weeks
so
ago.
good. Yeah, that's awesome.
Like less coffee, more tea. Simply because you drink enough hot coffee, you're gonna end up with like terrible heartburn.
Oh, it's horrible.
And I made the switch to tea, and
the best thing about tea is that it gives you the habit of still drinking something warm.
Yeah.
But it has like, depending on the tea you drink, it's like 1/10 to 1/100th the amount of caffeine.
Yeah, I drink the green tea, which is still has caffeine, but it's much less.
Not to mention, I drink coffee with a shitload of cream and sugar, so I get all those extra empty calories too. Whereas tea, you just put a little honey and you call it a day. So, so I'm happy for you. That's great.
Thank you, man.
Brother Chris. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, and you've been productive as well in your Borderlands.
Yeah. I was actually playing just now. I'm level 32.
Nice.
Loving life. Life is great. I play for hours at a time on end. I like to get in my little car and drive around and shoot things out of the sky and shoot ants, and life is good.
Good deal.
It's a fun game. Anyway, let's get cracking.
Yeah, let's talk about the Graps. We got matches of the week.
I got a match of the week. You recommended it.
All right.
Through no fault, I don't want to say fault of your own because it's a fun match. I asked you I said, Chris, I need a match of the week. Give me a WrestleMania main event, and I'll do it as the match of the week. And you said WrestleMania 22.
Having no idea what that match was, by the way. I just picked a random number.
Part of my job on this is to be the guy who helps fill in your wrestling historical knowledge. Yeah. Because you came to this business relatively late, like 2013-ish, right?
Yeah, 2014, yeah.
Yeah, so which is astonishing to me.
And I'm still around too.
Exactly. It's like friend of the show Fizz got to start watching TNA and then said, I need to watch more wrestling, which is mind-boggling to me, to be honest. So I've taken it upon myself to kind of try to fill in the gaps of your wrestling knowledge, and there's so much of it.
Oh yeah, man, I appreciate that.
You picked the WrestleMania main event, and it was WrestleMania 22, which I happen to be at through luck.
I had literally no idea of this.
You literally picked the number randomly through no luck of your own. And it was 22. It was WrestleMania 22 was in 2006 in Chicago, and at the Allstate. And the main event was defending champion John Cena versus Triple H.
Nice.
And at the time, this was before John Cena became a good in-ring worker. He was an average in-ring worker, and Triple H was post first blown leg Triple H, so he was just swollen as hell. And since it was WrestleMania season, he was swollen as hell. He hadn't yet developed the annoying habit of trying to work leg holds like he's Minoru Suzuki, like he did the last two WrestleManias.
Yeah.
Briefly, it was face versus face. Triple H was I'm going to show you that you're not that good at wrestling, and you're not good, and you're not good, and you're not good. And Cena was the champ at the time. I think other than a 3-week interim where Edge beat him, and then Cena won it back on the next pay-per-view in, I want to say, January of 2006. Cena was the champion from WrestleMania 05 through this WrestleMania to and through the next WrestleMania. I think it was something like of the 24 months between WrestleMania 2005 and WrestleMania 2007, Cena was champ for all but like 4 weeks. He was the champion for a long time. And this is what I've been calling for Roman Reigns. And I am on the record of not being a Roman Reigns fan. But they got to give him the belt and see what happens.
Yep.
They gave Cena the belt. Now, Roman's not Cena. In terms of the charisma and the promo and the ability to connect to a crowd. This was before Cena became super hated. He was just like the universally beloved champion. But that changes at this WrestleMania. Cena had beaten Attitude Era legend after Attitude Era legend. He beat Angle. He beat Christian. He beat Chris Jericho. And Triple H was the last man standing. And this was after the Reign of Terror Triple H, where he was just keeping everybody down.
Yeah.
But Triple H was the smart favorite because the Cena formula was starting to get a little stale.
Yeah.
So Triple H comes out, and he's beloved. Beloved. As the heel, nominally. He comes out in this Conan the Barbarian gimmick while still holding a bottle of water to do his little water spit gimmick, which was hilarious. Cena comes out in this cool old roadster, like he's a Chicago gangster with a bunch of extras, including a young CM Punk who had just signed with the company. Wasn't named or anything. It was just on the stage. The match itself is good. It's a solid 3.5, 3 3/4 star match. Cena, the 5 moves of doom. You know, the flying shoulder block, The guy goes for the punch, and Cena ducks. He hits the pop. He hits the spinning side slam into the 5-knuckle shuffle, and he goes for the A, but the guy slips out. Oh, no! Like you've seen in every Cena match for the past decade, right?
Yep. My favorite Cena matches have been the ones where the 5 moves of doom get interrupted. Like,
yes, and then he does them again.
And then he just goes right back to it just to finish the sequence just for the hell.
That's straight out of the Bret Hart school, by the way, of like early 90s Bret Hart, which I love.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
A few things about this match. This match is not bad. A sensational heat. This is like the first real time you get the Cena sucks chance and a national. And I was in the crowd, and I'm like, "There's no way Triple H is losing this guy. There's no way Triple H is losing this guy. There's no way. There's no way. He's going to beat him. It may be dirty. He's going to beat him." 2 things that everybody loved. The sledgehammer, which always is a big hit.
Oh, yeah.
And, okay, earlier in the show, Vince McMahon fought Shawn Michaels in a street fight. Blood and guts. And the match ends with Shane McMahon. I'm doing this off the top of my head, so if I'm wrong, I apologize. Shane McMahon is handcuffed to the bottom rope after trying to run interference for Vince. Vince is lying on a table with a garbage can above his head, like planted on the table, and Shawn climbs this gigantic-ass ladder, does the DX crotch chop, and then hits him with an elbow. Then, when they try to stretcher Vince out, Shawn interrupts the stretcher, drags Vince into the ring, and says, "You don't leave until I beat you," super kicks him for the win. It was awesome. Great match.
Sounds awesome. That was fantastic.
A lot of fun. Yeah. Vince is just dying in this match. It's Vince. He don't give a shit. You know what I mean? Vince is taking bumps in 2014. He's taking bumps in 2006. He's taking bumps in 1998. Vince. The thing about Vince that I wish his daughter would learn is that Vince had no problem showing ass because he knew he can get his heat back right away. Take notes, Steph. And I don't mean once a year where you fall through your table spot at WrestleMania. I mean every week Vince looked like an idiot. And he knew that was how you get your talent over. But I'm losing the thread here a little bit. Midway through the match, Triple H goes for like a top rope elbow or like a top rope double axe handle, and he does the crotch chop, and everyone pops. I love Triple H, but him playing face in this match didn't really accomplish a ton except get the crowd over. But I want to talk about the ending real quick. Reversal, pedigree, kick out, FU at the time, kick out. Cena goes for the STFU. And picture an STFU, but your right arm is free normally, right? Which is the arm you grab for the ropes. Cena grabs Hunter's right arm with his own left arm and pulls it across Hunter's face.
Oh, so it's like a straitjacket.
Kind of, yeah. So he can't go for the ropes, and then at the same time, he leans on Hunter's left arm. So he can't reach for the ropes, and then Hunter taps clean as a sheet in the middle of the ring. I was astonished at the time that he not only jobbed, but tapped out to this guy. Because I said the Cena experiment's over. I'm like, he's already a made man. He's had the belt for a long time. He doesn't need to have the belt. It's Triple H is going to do what he always does, and he's going to bury the young kid. But you know what? Tapped out in the middle of the ring. Like, I'll give the guy props for that.
Yeah.
So, got his heat back, of course, because the all-timers get their heat back, you know? Not at the end. I mean, the next day. The match ended, the show ended with Cena celebrating and, you know, everyone happy. So, WrestleMania 22 main event. I kind of allegorical to what hopefully we get at WrestleMania, what are we, 34?
Yeah, 34.
Like, you know, it's time to shit it out the pot with Roman Reigns. Either put the belt on him and keep the belt on him till at least Survivor Series 2018, or don't, and you've missed your opportunity. But that's where we are. So, what is your match of the week, my friend?
Well, we are continuing the If Not 2017 series of talking about matches that would be in our top 10s for the year. If it was any other year except this year, because this year
what a hellacious year. What a hellacious year, my friend. How lucky have we been? We've been blessed
Yes, we have. It's been an amazing, amazing year. And we are going to return to New Japan for this. In fact, I think all three of my matches so far in this series have been New Japan matches, but that's just because New Japan has had a friggin' insane year as it is anyway. And we are going to the main event of Destruction in Kobe, the United States Heavyweight Championship title match between Kenny Omega and Juice Robinson. And the storytelling of this match is the reason why I lose my mind at this whole thing. If you recall, Juice, during his G1, Juice Robinson had a pretty mediocre G1 if you only look at the point standings. If you watch his matches, he had some of the most amazing matches of the entire tournament. And a lot of that was because for the entire tournament, he was selling a leg injury that was plaguing him throughout all of his matches. And his match in the tournament against Kenny Omega was no different. And Juice pulled out a win by the skin of his teeth in that match on a roll through off of an attempted one-winged angel. And he barely got a 3 count before Kenny kicked out. And the shock on everybody's face after that happened was so amazing to watch. I love that match. That match is also one that could be in contention, but it's a much shorter match.
Which one was this? I'm sorry?
The Juice versus Kenny G1 match, where Juice got the win on the roll through on the one-winged angel. And barely won by the skin of his teeth.
The G1 was just something else. I mean,
yeah, like I was saying, Juice had such an amazing G1, just like top to bottom.
I feel that half the people in the G1, you could use the word amazing to describe their G1 and not be wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, off the top of my head, Nagata we talked about, Kojima we talked about, Juice. Mike Elgin, who we're going to talk about next week, had an incredible G1. Tanahashi, Naito, Zack Sabre.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Okada.
So many good ones.
There's just so many. In fact, so many guys had just hellacious G1s.
Yeah, for sure. But that win in the G1 that Juice got, one of his only wins in the G1, I think he only had 4 points in the end of it. But that win got him a United States Heavyweight Championship title match at this event, Destruction in Kobe. Now, in this match, the roles were reversed because, if you recall, Kenny Omega had not been on any of the previous Destruction shows because he had gotten, supposedly, I don't know if this actually was true or not, but the report was that he had gotten surgery on his for a partially torn meniscus, and it took 2 weeks off before jumping back into the ring for this match. The through line of this match is that in the beginning, Juice wanted to win with sportsmanship and wasn't going after the knee. And then, even after Kenny hits himself on the apron and lands hard on his knee, going down to the floor, even after that, Juice doesn't really go for the knee, but, was wanting to win on his wrestling ability alone. He clearly starts to get outmatched, and Kenny starts to take advantage. And Kenny gets him up for a one-winged angel after the reverse Frankensteiner, and Kenny gets him up. Juice slips out on a roll through again, goes for a pin. Kenny kicks out, and then they both get up, and Juice is like, "Ah, well, fuck it, I want the title," and chop blocks Kenny's knee out from under him.
Love that.
And then from there, he just goes straight to town. He goes just a series of elbow drops onto the knee, and every time he lands, Kenny's like grabbing at Juice's dreadlocks, like trying to hold them off, trying to stop him any means he can to stop his momentum. And Juice just keeps powering out and just elbow drops the knee again and again and again. I think he does it like 5 times, and then he flips Kenny around and drops him into a single leg crab on the surgically repaired knee. And just an instantaneous change from sportsmanship, good guy Juice to I want to win the fucking title now Juice is one of the reasons why Juice is probably going to be our ballot winner for most improved wrestler of the year.
You know what else that does? It gives legitimacy to the title.
Yeah. It does.
It establishes a title which had just been invented, for lack of a better word, or created. That a man with such rock rib principles as Juice Robinson, who went through the entire G1 as the pluckiest babyface who ever babyfaced, would be willing to throw that away for the title.
Yep.
That automatically makes the title that much more important.
Yeah.
If a character that you've been invested in for years has a mid-match heel turn in order to win it,
yep.
Well, that's an important title then, right, Chris?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a big deal. And especially for Juice, given that would be his first singles gold in New Japan. I mean, I think his first gold period in New Japan. I don't think he's won a title yet. So that was huge.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah.
Let me go to him. Let me go to his wiki page here since I've got this.
I'll do it. You keep talking. You keep talking. I'll look it up.
Yeah, no, he doesn't have anything. His only title wins ever was it was a 2-time FCW tag team champion. That was it.
He's only 28.
When he was CJ Parker, yeah. But anyway,
only 28.
So Juice does the elbow drops into the crab, and then from there he's just throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Kenny, and no fucks given, going for the knee. Any chance he can get, any time he can get a shot in on the knee, he goes for it to get any advantage he can to set up a pulp friction. And finally, he hits the pulp friction, and crawls over to a cover, and gets into the cover. And Kenny barely rolls up one shoulder, like doesn't even do a full kick out, just like limply rolls to one side so that his his left shoulder is up off the mat to break the count at like 2 3/4. And Juice is just completely in disbelief. And there's some other great spots in the match. Like there was before that, there was I forgot that this happened. Before that, there was an amazing spot on the apron where they were trading spots to try and set up for an overhead suplex. And finally, Kenny gets him up on the overhead suplex and does the overhead suplex right out to the floor. And they're both just fucking dead from that. And that was a great bit of selling right there for the two of them. And then finally, the finishing sequence comes where Juice is just like, all right, well, if I can't get him with a regular pulp friction, I might as well go for a second rope pulp friction. And Juice tries to set it up. And Kenny, in a moment of combination of desperation and genius, slips his head between Juice's legs as Juice is going to the top rope for the pulp friction, slips his head between Juice's legs and pulls him down for a super one-winged angel and barely walks away with the win. Just an absolutely amazing match. I mean, these guys left it all out on the table, and they told an amazing story that evolved the previous story that they had told from the G1 match, and just a great sign of two guys who are absolutely going to be pillars for New Japan to rely on. Kenny for far less time than Juice, because Juice has got the sky's the limit for this kid. He's 28 years old, and he's got so much going for him. It's insane. And Kenny Omega is Kenny Omega. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. So this match easily in another year would easily be a match you could consider as a top 5 match of the year contender, because these guys left everything out there, and they did it right. They did it right. Striking was great. Technical wrestling was great. Storytelling was great. Everything, just the works. Watch this match if you didn't see this match.
I am saving it for next week. My top 10 matches of the year. Mm-hmm. It was very, very hard to whittle down to 10 matches, and I don't watch a huge chunk of the wrestling that's out there. I watch almost no lucha. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen a lot. I've seen a lot of U.S. indies. I've seen a lot of AEW. I've seen a lot of PWG, but I've watched no Progress. I haven't seen WXW. So basically, what I watch is WWE, NXT, and American Indies, big time American Indies.
Yeah.
I don't watch All Japan, which apparently is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I do watch Big Japan because Daisuke Sakamoto is my boy. Yeah. But my point is that I've watched maybe 40% of the wrestling that's out there. And my top 10 list was unbelievable. I don't know how guys like Rev Kane and stuff could have a top 10 list when they watch 100% of the wrestling that's out there.
Yeah, seriously, it's like, insane.
The main event of Power Struggle, I think, was like 12th on my list. And that match was unbelievable.
It was.
How great of a year has it been for professional wrestling?
It's been amazing.
There have been multiple NXT matches that have been on free television that I've loved with all my heart. That I could not find on my top 10 list. That I couldn't make room for. It's been such a great year. But you know what? The funny thing is, in my top 10 list, from the minute I saw number 1, I haven't moved it. It's been number 1.
Oh, I know.
And everything else has been hard. I don't. We'll save that for next week.
I know what it is.
We know what it is, but we'll save that for next week.
Yeah.
But the number 1 has been number 1 for the entire year. Well, since I saw it in the spring. But numbers 2 through 10 have been very agonizing to, been very agonizing to fill out. It's just been a incredible year for professional wrestling.
Honestly, like, if I could, I would take a week off from doing everything and just review all the wrestling that I've seen this year, and especially watch some of the stuff that I haven't seen, because there's so many things.
Apparently the Championship Carnival, which is the All Japan version of the G1, was hellacious.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Walter and WXW and all the random stuff that Osprey's been doing in Australia and all the women's stuff with Shimmer that I haven't watched, and I'm sure all that's just been incredible.
I mean, Progress. Like, I've been meaning with all my heart to just sign up for Demand Progress to catch up on all the matches, because, like, just the description alone that I've read of the Pete Dunne versus Travis Banks title match for the Progress Championship is like, that in and of itself is enough to make me say, Jesus Christ, I need to fucking sign up for this immediately. And I just can never find the money or the time. But it's like,
it's not the money, it's the time. Like, when would I watch it?
Yeah. There's only so many hours in the day, unfortunately.
Exactly. So, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about?
We've been off for we haven't podcasted for 2 weeks. Well, we didn't podcast last week. This is our return podcast, and a lot has happened since we last spoke to you 2 weeks ago today. We had NXT Takeover War Games, we had Survivor Series, and we had a lot of new developments happening all throughout WWE TV. So we're going to just run down some of the major occurrences from those 2 big pay-per-views, and then talk about some of the big things that have happened and what's coming next as we head towards the well, I guess Clash of Champions is next, and then it's the Royal Rumble, but
but it's Rumble season. Clash of Champions, I think, is just a kind of a speed bump along the way,
Yeah. A roadblock, if you will.
Oh boy, 1 year ago, Chris.
Yep.
Our zero show. Our 0th show.
Our Godfather Fizzy reminded us today. December 30th is the 1 year anniversary of episode 0 of Two Guys One Sport, where we talked about roadblock and
tapping out when she could hear Sasha tapping out when she could hear the crowd chanting, and she couldn't. God, I hated that show so much.
It was the worst.
Remember the Enzo Amore creeping on Lana storyline? Because he was walking around naked because Big Cass pranked him?
Can we never bring that up again, please?
Yeah,
please?
That was great. And by great, I mean terrible.
Everything about that was the literal worst.
It was a terrible show.
So
I hate everything.
Yeah.
So
that's coming up. We're gonna find some way to celebrate that, I guess.
Not by watching that show.
Yeah, no, hell no. Well, I mean, that's gonna be actually our preview show for the Dome. So what? I'm all about that. Yeah. So that's let's see, 4 weeks from today. Oh my God! You know what? You want to hear something funny?
Sure.
Our first podcast of the year is going to be on January 4th.
Oh shit! Really?
Yep.
The night of the Dome. We're gonna have like.
Well, I mean, it's
You're right. Yeah, the night of the Dome. Well, not the night. Like 12 hours after the Dome ends.
12 hours after the Dome ends. Yeah, we're gonna be.
It's gonna be.
So that's gonna be interesting.
Hell yes.
Fresh Dome.
Fresh Dome review. Takes. All the takes, Chris.
Yeah.
I have this football game on mute in the background. These 2 teams blow. Why am I Matt and I are watching this game and he's not podcasting. I'm podcasting.
Yeah.
Washington and Dallas. Chris, no wonder why your Eagles have 10 wins because they get to beat up on these two garbage ass teams twice a year. These teams suck.
Yep, and the Giants.
Also God, yeah, the Giants are a dumpster fire, a dumpster fire of epic proportions.
Let me tell you.
I mean, here's how you know the Giants are bad. I feel sorry for the Giants, and I'm a Bears fan.
Let me tell you something. I went. My dad's one of my dad's brothers has season tickets for the Giants, and every so often he'll like buy out other blocks of season tickets from people who aren't going to the games, and we'll have a big family tailgate. So we went to the game the Sunday before Thanksgiving, when they were playing the Chiefs. And,
they won that game because the Chiefs
they won that game. But let me tell you, all of my dad's family
Dallas just ran back a punt for a touchdown.
All of my dad's family members who were Giants fans were all rooting for the Giants to just freaking lose so they can secure that #1 draft pick. Like, nope, not today.
No. Andy Reid says no.
I was sad because I really wanted to see an Andy Reid offense being productive in action. Yeah,
you know what?
My first time ever seeing Andy Reid team live.
You did get to see Andy Reid screw up a 2-minute drill, which I'm sure made you feel like old time's sakes. I'm sure that made you feel right at home as an Eagles fan.
Trauma flashbacks.
Exactly. like you know how they're like the poor veterans have the flashbacks when they hear a car alarm go off or fireworks and they think they're back in war. I'm sure that was you watching Andy Reid run a 2-minute drill. You just your hands just started twitching. You had no idea why.
Yeah, it's like that little head twitch that happens. It's like the vein pulsing in your forehead.
Exactly.
All right. Anyway, so let's actually talk about the wrestling. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So War Games and
hot take. War Games was really awesome, and I don't mean the match itself. I mean the entire card.
Yeah. We'll actually also talk about some of the stuff that happened before the show that aired on NXT the week following. That specifically being Pete Dunne defeating Johnny Gargano to retain the United Kingdom Championship in an amazing match because
I would argue that it was the #2 and #3 performers of the WWE.
Yeah, to the surprise of no one, Pete Dunne and Johnny Gargano are actually really good at this professional wrestling.
I mean, they should keep it up. They got skills.
I'd say so. Yeah, they've got potential. These kids got potential. They left it all out there. Fantastic match. I love the bitter end. The Pete Dunne's finisher is one of my favorites in all of wrestling. It's so elegant, but at the same time looks so just destructive in its elegance. I love it. Nothing about that is bad for me. And Pete Dunne is just spectacular.
Well, I will talk about it in a little bit. I love moves that are violent. I love moves that are vicious. I love when wrestling feels like a shoot fight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need choreographed. So and the bitter end is quite good at that.
Yes, indeed. They done good. On the takeover, War Game.
Takeover thoughts.
On the card proper, can I just say the entrances alone for Aleister Black versus Velveteen Dream secured that feud as feud of the year for me, and then the match itself was just like Jesus.
Oh, match was great. Great. You know what? And how about the mid-match Velveteen Dream babyface turn?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, how about the fact that Patrick Clark is 22 and he's already awesome?
Yep.
He's 22.
He's 22 years old and is already just a master of what he's doing.
He's so good.
Yeah.
He owns that gimmick. He owns it. That gimmick is his. He bought it on fucking consignment and he owns it and it's great.
Mm-hmm. He made it work. And Aleister...
My only nitpick, other than saying the name, which was awesome, I don't want Aleister Black talking. I know he can cut a promo. I know he's going to have to cut promos, but you know what? I'd rather he just be this mysterious silent assassin who kicks people in the head.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all.
Like Undertaker didn't talk for years, and even though he can cut a promo, it was fine. Like, just show up, hit the black mass, or mast. Is it mass or mast?
It's mass.
Mass,
black mass being the ceremony at the Church of Satan.
Oh, mass. Oh, MASS.
Yes.
Okay, I thought it was mast, like 5 years before the mast, like on a ship.
No.
But, okay. Well, that works too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't want him talking. So,
I understand that, yeah.
How about them chanting for him to say his name and meaning it to the crowd, not ironically?
Oh, yeah.
The match was so good.
The crowd,
you know what?
That match so much.
What? I love that match, but I think I like the Drew Almas match a little more. I'm saying my personal preference. I talk about it feeling like a fight. I love Big Daddy Drew, and he's hurt, and it's hurt, and it sucks. Guys getting hurt sucks. Guys getting hurt when they're about to be called up is like the dirt worst.
Yeah, they had themselves a hell of a match too. That was
so
an insanely good title fight.
And a year ago, Andrade Almas was getting bullshit "you can't wrestle" chants, and he had the Chippendale suspenders and the hat. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And he was dead on arrival, and there was serious talk about him going back to CMLL or going to New Japan or being a freelancer, whatever he was doing. He may have requested his release. We don't know, but what a difference 365 days makes.
And what a difference one Zelina Vega makes.
One Zelina Vega makes. And we will wax poetic about her next week when we have our awards show. But she has, because she's given him agency, she's given him focus, she's given him determination, she's given him an anchor to anchor the rest of his gimmick around, and she has been incredible.
Yep.
But he's carried it too.
Yeah, he's done his work. He's done his work for sure. Dude has got it right. He's done it right, and he's doing a great job with it. So props.
Yeah, but I love both those singles matches.
Yeah,
I liked War Games. Don't get me wrong. I thought War Games was the third best match on the show, and I don't mean that as a slight to War Games. I want an easy 4 stars. I'm all in for people beating the shit out of each other. Alexander Wolf got just mauled.
Oh my god!
Bastard.
There are so many people who were on Twitter saying, "All right, good, the match is over. Now, can somebody please check on Alexander Wolf and make sure he's not dead?
Make sure he's not lying in a pool of his own blood." Like,
oh, he was lying in a pool of his own blood.
Make sure he's not bleeding out. Yeah. But I thought it was a little bit of a disconnect in War Games. Like, Sanity gets free and they go for the weapons instead of trying to help. Like, I mean. Plus, I'm old school. It wasn't really a War Games to me without the roof and the submission.
Yeah, I know.
But like, I thought it was a good match. Don't get me wrong. But I thought it was a little thrown together at the last minute, and I still am waiting for Adam Cole to have a good match.
Yeah.
Like, I'm waiting for Adam Cole, baby.
Fingers crossed.
I'm waiting. I love the guy. He's a good promo. He's a fun gimmick. But he's got a terrible look. He looks like a 18-year-old cosplaying wrestler. And B, I'm waiting for him to have a good match. He had a bad match at the Dome last year against Kyle O'Reilly.
It was a bad match.
It was a 3-star special.
I don't think so. I went a little higher than that. I enjoyed that match, but personal preference. I thought War Games was actually. I actually rank War Games below the women's 4-way, but that's because I have a lot of bias about the performers in the women's 4-way. But
I didn't.
It was
I had a few problems with the women's match.
Yeah. No, I did too.
I thought it was too choreographed.
I also had problems with War Games too.
Yeah, I went a solid 4 stars on War Games. I think I went 3.5 in the women's match. So it's not like I hated it. I love the opener. I know what kind of bounce.
Oh yeah.
The opener was everything I needed. 5 minutes, just 2 big guys beating the shit out of each other. I'm all in for that.
Lars Sullivan and Cash Sono beating the shit out of each other was a lot of fun to start the show.
2 big guys just mauling each other. What's not to like?
Yeah. And Cassius presenting or thinking he was going to present himself as the first real challenge to Lars, and then just like, nope. Lars is just like, I got this whole other, reserve tank that is just going to, make you cry.
This show was. I think I have it above Chicago in my rankings. I have to go back and look at Chicago.
Yeah,
but.
There's going to be a lot of stuff to review.
I think my favorite match on the show, as great as Dream Black was, I think I like the Drew Almas match just a smidge more.
Yeah,
I don't mean that as a slight to Dream Black, which was sensational. I just think it's like picking which of your 2 kids you like more.
And again, flip flop for me there because
I don't mean to say that I want to make explicitly clear that I thought Drew Black was Dream and Aleister Black was incredible.
Exactly,
I just think that with Zelina and the title, as much as they've built up the name being the stakes, which was great, because you don't always need a belt to have an agent to have a feud worthwhile.
Mhm.
You know, this feud. You said this feud has been the feud of the year for you in NXT, if not worldwide.
This is absolutely my feud of the year for everywhere.
It's on my ballot. I think Naito Tanahashi is ahead of it for me a little, just a little. I think I'd have to go back and look. My ballot is more or less done, but I have big question marks literally on the word pad, where it's like what goes on here. So I could be talked into that being Drew Black, Dream.
Dream
Wow,
Black.
I keep doing that. Dream Black. Wow.
Yeah.
You could talk me into it, and I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Yeah.
And I love that it is an old school feud without the belt.
Yep.
Like, you know, my other feud of the year, Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman hasn't got the belt. It's just been two big guys throwing behind each other.
Yeah, Roman Braun was definitely been a highlight of WWE programming for sure.
Yeah, two hosses just beating the crap out of each other. Great. I'm always for that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll talk about next week when we try to show Don Sal on and we really dig deep into the awards, fill out our show ballot.
Yep. Yeah, that's gonna be
Takeover was great. Takeover was so good. I loved it. I loved the show. It didn't drag. It didn't. Sometimes you watch the wrestling show, like, man, another hour of this.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the show. I'm like, it's over already. Sweet.
Yeah. Peyton Royce, MVP of the women's match. She was fucking spectacular. The whole match.
I had a few problems with the women's match. I thought it was a little too choreographed. I can go the rest of my life without ever seeing the Tower of Doom spot, and then you saw it again at War Games. Like, I think it's overplayed.
Yeah,
it gets heat, so that's great. But I think that spot can be retired. Also,
Peyton doing a variation of it and making it instead of it being just a straight slam and doing it as a suplex instead was actually instead of it being a power bomb, having it be a German suplex instead. I think was actually
my biggest problem with the women's match is what happened afterwards, which we'll get to. But don't like multi-man and multi-win matches in general.
Yeah,
I'd rather just have unless it's like a ladder match where it's like a six-way free-for-all or something, you know, like a Money in the Bank or like the ladder match for the Intercontinental Belt that WrestleMania has passed. But I just think there's more focus if it's a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Now I know we talked about this. We're probably getting Ember and Kairi Sane at WrestleMania weekend. Possibly. I shouldn't say probably, but which should be 4.5 stars without breaking a sweat. Yeah. I mean, those two can fall out of bed and have a 4-star match.
Yeah. So. Although they're definitely Matt brings up rightly so. Kairi was definitely very late on one of the breakups during the women's.
Oh, absolutely.
And there was definitely some issues there, but also the whole controversy with Peyton having Nikki down for 14 seconds and the ref not counting.
Yeah, it's just.
That's an agenting error, and
that's an agenting error. That's a ref should always call it as a shoot.
Yeah,
because otherwise it destroys the legitimacy of your referees, which destroys the legitimacy of your sport. It's not the ref's job to protect the performers.
Yep.
It's the performer's job or the wrestler's job to make sure that they're not screwing up.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know, do you remember when what's her name had that match and like missed the kick out and the ref stopped counting? Eva Marie 2 years ago, and it just destroyed everything.
Oh yeah, the whole crowd.
Look, we all know it's fake. We all know it's fake. Don't have to rub it in our faces. That's all I ask.
Exactly.
So, great card. Either my show of the year or the run up to my show of the year behind Chicago. NXT has been really damn great because they tell stories. As fun as flippy do bullshit is, just give me a good story.
Yeah.
And Lars Sullivan. Give me more of Lars Sullivan.
Do you want to talk about Ember now? Just, you know.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I will let you do this because I know you're the bigger fan of hers than I am.
Well,
not that it matters here, but she got punked. She did, and she had very little. I use this word a lot. She had very little agency going in because she couldn't beat Asuka. Now, if this storyline turns into Ember Moon is the one to beat Asuka in a year, then I can maybe see it, but I doubt that very much.
It's not. It's not going to happen.
I'm going to give them the 5% benefit of the doubt.
Her streak is not going to last that long. I guarantee you.
Nor should it. But my biggest problem with the women's matches in NXT and the women's wrestling in WWE in general is I want less of the we're groundbreaking shit, and I want more of, hey, let's fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Ember had no legitimacy going into this match. Now she has even less.
Yeah.
And
I talked about
we talked about it when she was the one leading the clapping for Asuka's vacancy ceremony, and that was dumb too.
Yeah, after Brooklyn, yeah. I mean, the whole series of events for the past 3 months for Ember has just been just a downward spiral of why are you doing this?
And she's too talented in the ring to have this happen.
Yeah.
And even if she wasn't, it's still dumb. It's dumb storytelling.
Yeah, regardless of the performer.
And I expect better from NXT.
Yeah. Triple H
I expect this shit to be on the main roster. I expect better from NXT.
Triple H really should have known better because, and I talked about this when I was talking about my predictions for the show. If having Ember win, having either Ember or Kairi win for that matter, would be a mistake because they're going to have the specter of Asuka's undefeated streak and having never conquered it.
There is a saying,
even worse for Ember though, because she lost to that undefeated streak not once but twice, and then had to not only watch Asuka walk away having never lost the title, but then had to have the title handed to her after the match by Asuka.
Why should I? Yeah.
Well, you couldn't beat me, but here's your consolation prize anyway.
I graduated. Here's
disgusting. Disgusting.
Well, I had a thought. I don't remember it now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No. Either Peyton. Oh yes, here we go. There was a saying in sports, in shoot sports, that you don't want to be the guy following the elite head coach. You want to be the guy following the elite head coach.
Yep.
Because you'll always be compared. Like when Nick Saban retires at Alabama, you don't want to be the guy to replace Nick Saban because you're not going to be as good as Nick Saban. Yep. You want to be the guy who replaces the guy who replaced Nick Saban. Like this is perfect for Peyton Royce to be the woman who replaces Asuka.
Yep.
Plus, there are no heels on the women's roster.
Yeah, Billy Peyton are the only ones left now.
That's it.
After the events we'll talk about.
And, as a foil to Asuka being the dominant babyface / tweener champ, you could have had two shitbird heels cheating to keep the title.
Yep.
As a great contrast.
Exactly.
Like, to me, it was just such a layup.
Yeah.
And they gave it, and they literally gave the belt to Ember Moon, and now I have no. Why should I believe in her, Ember Moon?
Yeah.
Why should I believe in her?
I talked about the fact that the NXT Women's Championship is the most prestigious belt in the entire company right now. And here's the thing.
I don't know if that's true anymore.
Well,
it was.
The booking of the belt since Takeover Brooklyn 1, since Sasha lost the belt to Bayley at Takeover Brooklyn 1, for 2 straight years, it has been the most well-booked belt in the entire company. But here's the thing. When the belt has a legacy like that, you have to have a champion that will either live up to the legacy or else bring the legacy down to the level of the champion.
The champ.
If you're going to do the second one of those, we
learned this with gender, man. The champ makes the belt, not the other way around. The belt doesn't make the man or the woman. The man or the woman makes the belt.
Yeah, and if you're going to do the second one,
Mahal.
If you're going to do the second one of having the person bring the belt down, you better do it in a way that's going to still make that person look good. So that the next person to get the belt isn't going to be seen as, oh, thank God, we're getting rid of this, worthless champion. Instead, it's going to be, oh, okay, let's see how this next champion can help to, make the belt better than what it is now. It's not hard. The storytelling is not hard here, and this is one that should have been in just a no-brainer. It should have been a no-brainer.
They punked Emma. They punked Ember. Excuse me. They punked her. They punked her. There's no other way to describe it. She deserves better.
Absolutely, she does.
So
it's just really it's a shame. It honestly is a shame because you said Ember is far too good of a performer to be given this kind of treatment, and it's I wouldn't say highly unlikely, but it is unlikely for certain that she is going to be received with the level of respect and gravitas that the champion should have, especially the champion holding that particular belt. And she's likely not going to get that. So yeah, it's really unfortunate, but this was the one of the only missteps on this whole show. I mean, the other one,
it was the big major one.
yeah,
but other than that, the show was
extremely well done.
I mean, very good.
I did say that having Undisputed Era win War Games was not a smart move, even though it was clearly evident that they were going to. It just was not something that really made a lot of sense in storytelling sense.
Why didn't they win the belts?
Well,
I know they did. I know they have, but like, why weren't the belts on the line in the match? The winning threesome wins the belts.
Yeah,
and they can freebird them. Like it just seems like that would have been a no-brainer.
Yeah, it would have made sense to do that, but spoilers aside, because we're trying to be a spoiler-free show. It's going to be interesting where they take it from here, because I mean, coming out of that match, I mean, the Undisputed Era looks better, but how much better? I mean,
it's funny. Both Sanity and the Undisputed Era have the problem where their leaders are the worst part of their stables.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, although I don't really know why. Like, I don't know what they do with the Authors of Pain from here either. It's like, Authors of Pain not winning that match makes them look like, it's not even like they can blame it on Roddy for, making them lose, because Roddy didn't take the pin. Eric Young did.
No, Eric Young did. And Roddy was excellent in that match too.
Yes, and Roddy, all three of them were, I think, were the best team in the match.
The Authors?
Actually, no. Sanity. I think
Sanity was edge. Julian Dane was a rock star in this match,
and Alexander Wolf.
And so was and I rag on Eric Young, and he was very good too.
Yeah, actually,
the worst performer in the match was Adam Cole.
Yeah,
like, baby.
Yeah, seriously, very sad. But yeah, you're not wrong there.
So that's our.
But I don't know where they go from here, because it's like the Authors of Pain. It's like, now what do you do? Because you're not going to be up for a title shot, that's for sure. And what do you do with two ruthless murderers if they're not going after the title and or keeping the title from any and all challengers? I said that the Authors should have been the ones to break the Ascension's record of holding the belt for the longest period of time. That would have been a far better use of them, because right now they're directionless. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes from here with them. Survivor Series, much less of importance happened here because of all the inter-brand action. Let's see. Highlights of the show for me were the Shield New Day match. That was a lot of fun. The Usos versus the Bar, also a lot of fun.
Especially after the turn. The beginning part of that match was just like, all right, whatever, they're having a match. And then someone hit a move, and one of the Usos broke it up, and then from there the match got awesome.
Yeah.
It's like they had two matches.
Yeah. And the storytelling, again, I talked about it with my match of the week. And again, storytelling, fantastically done. And then obviously Brock AJ. That was the other highlight of the show.
Yeah, if you didn't know by now, that I was talking to a friend of mine about this, and AJ, how bad is Kevin Owens that he could not have a good match with AJ Styles on multiple occasions?
Oh God!
Because Jinder Mahal, who's hot garbage, had a good match with AJ Styles, and Kevin Owens couldn't. Twice.
Shane McMahon had a good match with AJ Styles.
Yeah, like what the hell, Owens?
Yeah, you're supposed to be one of the best in the world, and this is what you give us.
You think about it. His WWE match, in terms of matches, he had the match with Cena, which was more the shock of him beating Cena.
Yep.
He had the match with Roman at the Rumble, which was a garbage match. And I don't mean that as bad. I mean that as garbage as in like plunder and weapons. The match itself was excellent. But I mean garbage as in like, out weapon spots and, like a CZW match,
Yep.
And the Chris Jericho and the shark cage, which they love their fucking shark cages, by the way.
Oh God,
I love their shark cages.
Seen what I said about WWE having some sort of deal with Discovery, and I'm making sure that they have a year-long promotion of Shark Week.
They love those cages.
Yeah.
And what are some other great Kevin Owens matches I'm missing? I mean, great 4-star plus. We had the one with Roman at the Rumble, which I went 4 1/4, which I loved. He had the one with Cena the first time where he beat Cena, which was highly rated because of the shock of, oh my God, in the first night of the company, he beat Cena. And then Cena beat him 3 times in a row, but that's neither here nor there. Like, what are some great Kevin Owens matches in the Fed I'm missing?
You want to know what Kevin Owens' best match in the Fed has been?
Yeah.
The main event of NXT TakeOver Unstoppable.
Which one was that?
When he fought Sami Zayn for the NXT title. And the match had to be stopped on injury stoppage. And that was when... I
think I like that Roman match a little more, but that was a good match.
And then
it was also 4 years ago.
And then his second best one was the following TakeOver on TakeOver Rival, when I forget if Rival came first or Unstoppable came first. The match where he won the NXT title from Sami was his best one, and then the follow-up match where he defended it against Sami was his second best one. That has just been all downhill from there.
Yeah. So since he's been on the main roster, he's had 2 4-star matches.
Yeah.
Actually 3, because the Shane McMahon match was a clusterfuck, and I mean that in a good way. And he did a very good job in that match because Shane McMahon's no damn good. And so I think we've learned that if you give Kevin Owens weapons, he's and he has no problems beating the crap out of himself.
Yes.
So, but like in a straight one-on-one match, the guy's not having a good run.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about AJ Brock real quick.
Yeah, please.
I love this match. These are
2 of your favorite guys.
I went 4 3/4. I loved this match. Okay. Let me tell you why I love this match. I want to talk about I want to talk about the spot at the end. And it ended the exact same way we all called it, the forearm into the F5, right? Okay. I want to talk about, I wish I could link the YouTube, but I can't link it. I have a GIF on my computer of just AJ hitting the move and Brock catching him in midair, hitting the F5, pinning the match. Let's talk about this spot real quick. First of all, it never ceases to amaze me when a wrestler catches another wrestler on the fly and doesn't fall over. AJ's like 220, and Brock catches him on his shoulders and staggers back and doesn't like die. Remember when Cena used to do that thing where he would like catch the guy and then roll through and then like lift him up on his shoulders and hit the F5 or hit the FU?
Yep.
Like, it's so awesome. I love that.
It is. It's fantastic stuff.
Let's talk about 2 little things in this spot, and we'll talk about the match itself. One, the leg. As he gives the F5, he's limping on the leg that had gotten calf crushed. And 2, selling on offense, the key to my heart. And 2, something I didn't notice till I saw it the second time. AJ Styles is in the F5 position. He knows he's fucked. He knows he can't escape. He knows Brock is going to kill him. But he keeps punching Brock in the chest because he never says die. He's feebly pounding on Brock's chest, trying to get out because it's not in his blood and it's not in his guts and it's not in his DNA to give up.
That was fantastic.
He never says die. Chris, this match was fucking awesome. How about Brock Lesnar selling the calf crusher like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin in '97? Trying to push up and drag himself to the ring and screaming and shrieking. And how about he just grabs AJ by the throat and pounds him in the canvas 5 times to get out of that move?
Yeah. And
bashes his head in.
For anybody who says that Brock doesn't care about wrestling, watch that spot and watch how Brock cradles AJ's head in the crook of his arm.
Ended him.
Safe.
How about shit heel Brock early in the match begging AJ to punch him and just toying with him, and then as the business turns, he drops the facade because the bully's in a fight. The bully's going to be a bully until someone hits him in the mouth.
Yep.
You know, how about Brock selling the leg backstage just because? He wasn't hurt. He was fine. But he sold the leg backstage because he wanted to work with people in the backstage. Like, He sold that calf crusher better than he sold actual submissions in the UFC. Like, he sold that better than he sold real life submission moves.
Yeah.
How about the crowd buying that as the finish when everybody knew that Brock was going to win?
Oh, yeah.
And yet there were grown men standing and cheering for that move.
Mm-hmm.
4 3/4.
It was fantastic. It was a fantastic match.
Oh my god!
And you know me, I
love this match, Chris.
I am nowhere near the Brock fan that you are. That is well established. But goddamn, if these guys didn't put on a show.
Yeah, Marcel's right. After the German, AJ tries to get up, and his body's like, "Nah." Nah,
oh yeah, the ragdolling off the suplex.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
And then the blue screen of death that was him collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you know what? Like, this match told me everything. It made Brock into a badass mauling bully, and it made AJ into the ultimate never say die underdog. And you know what? You can say it all you want. You can say I'm an underdog. You can say I'll never quit. But when Brock's throwing you around and you're still trying to get up, and you're still fighting back as you're getting F5 and you're punching him in the arm, in the chest, because you just can't quit.
Mm-hmm.
And you're clawing. He's clawing, trying to get to his feet. Chris, not only is AJ Styles the best wrestler in the world, in any company, AJ Styles is one of the 10 best professional wrestlers of all time.
Yeah.
He may be top 5. But I can't comment on that because I can't tell you. I don't watch enough Lucha or 90s Japan. But this guy is. We are watching a all-time master at his work. He got 4 stars out of Jinder Mahal. The guy who can't even hit his own finisher. Yeah.
Who demonstrated that again this week.
The guy who's so terrible he cannot hit his own move.
On a 150-pound Singh brother.
Man,
botched his finisher on a 150-pound Singh brother.
God, I mean, he's just what this wrestling match. It is a testament to how good 2017 is that this is not my match of the year.
Yeah,
because it would have been my match of the year in 2016 if this match was transported in time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, what was my match of the year last year? Oh, my match of the year last year, maybe not. My match of the year last year was the 2 out of 3 falls DIY versus Survival, which was just awesome.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't know. That match was. I remember standing and cheering in my den at the house, in my computer room at the house, like when Gargano when they did that double submission spot. So it's just everything I want. And you know what? You can cut all the promos you want, but these 2 guys solidified their characters in this 15 minutes more than any promos or any backstage vignettes or anything else. And you know what? When someone beats Brock, when Roman beats Brock, it's going to be a moment. I mean, it's going to be 80,000 people booing, but it'll be a moment because of this match. So I don't know. I love this match.
It was great. I can't give it more praise than that. Because it was spectacular.
He was punching him because he doesn't quit. Like, come on, man! It's so perfect.
It was spectacular.
So
the stuff dreams are made of.
Oh my god! It's like he's punching because he doesn't quit. Like you can say I don't quit, but like right there, you know. So I don't know. Well, anything else the rest of this card?
No.
How about the main event? The exact opposite of this shit.
Oh God, I don't ever want to talk about that again.
Triple H! It's been 20 years of McMahon family drama. Montreal was 20 years ago this month, which was when Vince McMahon stopped being the announcer and started being Mr. McMahon. We've had 20 years of McMahon family drama. We're gonna get 20 more. I'm convinced of it.
Yeah.
God. Never forget that this company exists to get the McMahon clan over.
Yeah. It's so disheartening. Honestly, it is. It's so disheartening. Like, I don't know what it's going to take for them to realize, nobody fucking gives a shit anymore. And everybody just wants them to go away. But, maybe one day. I doubt it, but maybe one day. I can dream.
And yes, Roman will get booed at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he will.
80,000 fat Euro neckbeards. This isn't Raw, where it's families and stuff. Roman's getting booed at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
like that's pretty clear.
No,
like,
yeah.
You know why it doesn't matter though.
I have to agree with him on this one, Madeline. You know, it's because
they're going to get booed. They're not going to do anything.
The people who are buying tickets for WrestleMania are not families anymore.
No, it's
the smarks who want to go there specifically to boo and complain.
Yeah, it's the people who go. It's the people who go to WrestleMania and then go to all the other little indie shows at the same time.
And I hate that. I really do. I really do hate that. I hate that it's the people who are the worst fans of WWE who are making the crowd.
No, don't fall into the trap of telling people that they're good fans or bad fans just because.
I am going to.
Don't. Just because they boo Roman Reigns does not make them bad fans.
It's not them booing Roman Reigns that makes them bad fans. It's them being contrarians because they're not getting what they want that makes them bad fans. I don't care if it's them booing Roman Reigns, booing Jason Jordan, booing Finn Balor, booing Bayley. I don't care about who they're booing. I care about the fact that they're being giant fucking babies because they're not getting the booking that they want. You want to book a company? Go start your own one then. That's what I care about. Yeah, it's fine if you're.
So you're not allowed to show up and express your displeasure?
You're certainly allowed to show up and express your displeasure, but not about the fact that, you're not getting it the way you want it. If they're still telling good stories, then you know what? Enjoy the fact that the good stories are being told.
Are they telling good stories?
Some of them that they're telling are good stories, yeah. But the people aren't giving a shit about the good stories. They're only booing the things that they don't want.
So
it's
you seem to take this very personally.
It's childish behavior,
it's really not. If you look, as long as they're not being offensive, and I mean like you suck Cena, you suck Bryan offensive, like that shit's unacceptable. And as long as they're not like throwing stuff in the ring, like it's Hogan turning on WCW, they can do whatever the hell they want, and they're going to, regardless of whether you or I or anyone else wants them to. 80,000 people are going to boo, are either going to sit on their hands or boo Roman Reigns out of the building. And you know what? It doesn't matter. Give him the belt. Give him the belt.
No, I know that.
And keep him the belt, or keep having him the belt.
I know that. No, I understand that.
Stop fucking around. Either he's the guy or he's not. I say not. But give him the belt. And
it's
if you know
the motivations of why they're doing this is just what bothers me. But it's not
the company or the fans. Let them do what they want. As long as they're not offensive, and as long as they're not throwing shit.
They are offensive when they're yelling at kids for booing for cheering for Roman Reigns. That is offensive.
Pick one guy on Twitter, and all of a sudden you're painting with a broad brush.
It's not one guy from what I've seen.
10 guys on Twitter, and you're painting with a broad brush. If all they want to do is show up, and boo Roman, just because you like Roman doesn't give them less agency to not boo him.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about it's not one guy or 10 guys. I'm talking about dozens of reports of people people bringing their kids to house shows and to Raw tapings, and their kids getting booed and yelled at by smart fans just because they like Roman Reigns. Same things have happened to kids just for liking John Cena. That kind of shit is terrible.
And it's the same fans who got booed for liking John Cena who are now booing Roman Reigns.
Trying to dictate who people should like or not like.
Well, you're doing that right now. You're saying
I'm not telling them that they have to like.
No, you're saying
that is not what I'm saying. I'm not telling them they have to like Roman Reigns. I'm telling them that they can't be disrespectful to other people just because of their preferences. And that's the shit that they're doing.
You're saying these people cannot show up and boo Roman Reigns because then they're childish, though. If they don't like the direction of the company, they can do what they want.
There's a lot more nuance to it than that, but we don't have time to cover that or talk about it. Honestly, there's a world of difference. But
between what? Why are they not allowed to show up and boo Roman Reigns?
It's not that they're showing up to boo Roman Reigns. I don't care about them showing up to boo Roman Reigns. I care about the fact that they're showing up. And the motivations for them booing and the way that they're going about expressing their displeasure about it is just not It's not mature, and it's not. It just reflects poorly on the entire wrestling fan community. Telling Roman that he should have died instead of his brother, saying that they wish that his child gets kidnapped and that his wife gets murdered, shit like that.
And when when Roman Reigns says that atheists are going to hell, is that okay? Wait. So
I said already. I didn't think that was okay either.
This is. I don't want to say this is a two-way street, but this whole thing has been a fiasco.
It has been. I'm not denying that. But there are clearly people who have been worse in this. There are clearly people who have done worse and behaved worse. It is not up for debate. Saying that you wish people would die, saying you wish people would get raped, saying you wish people would get kidnapped, that is clearly the worst behavior. And that's the kind of shit that I am not okay with.
But that's not the kind of shit that's going to happen at WrestleMania. 80,000 people are not going to show up and chant, "We want Roman to die." They're either going to sit on their...
You want to bet?
Yes, Chris. 80,000 people are going to chant in unison, "Die Roman, die," or "Die baby Roman, die." Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen because you're not being hyperbolic at all.
I wouldn't be surprised if it did.
You think 80,000 people are going to chant, "I hope Roman's kid gets raped"? That's what you're saying right now.
I think that I wouldn't be surprised if they chanted "Die Roman, die."
You wouldn't be. You would. I would be very surprised if 80,000 people in New Orleans chant, "I hope Roman's kid gets raped." That I would be very surprised if that happens.
That's okay. I said "Die Roman, die" is their chant. The stuff that happens on Twitter is that I'm saying
Twitter.
about.
Twitter's a black hole of shit. We've discussed this. It's Twitter. Twitter sucks. Twitter is garbage. Twitter is garbage run by garbage people. I
just don't want these fans around. That's all it is. I just don't want these fans around.
You don't want these fans around, or you don't want these fans around because they don't like your favorite wrestler?
No, I don't care about them not liking Roman. I care about them being shitty people. That's what I care about. I care about them being shitty people who think that they're entitled to be shitty people just because of the fucking internet. Those are the people that I want to fucking go away forever. I don't want to be a wrestling fan if they're also going to be wrestling fans. That's where I'm at.
They're not going away though. And I'm not the problem with the internet, and this is a larger issue. This is a macro issue. The problem, and this is regardless of wrestling or shoot sports or politics or gaming or any other bullshit, is that it allows people to act like they're stupid because there's no consequences. Right?
Yeah, and that's the problem. There should be consequences.
Well, I mean, of what though?
I don't know.
Neither do I. I don't know either. Believe me.
This is why I wish I could just be a fucking comic book villain and just wipe these people off the face of the earth. But whatever. That's besides the point. And we've talked about this.
The problem with the internet is that it's inhabited by people. And the problem with people is that people blow.
Yeah. Well,
fucking Hobbes was right, and I don't mean Calvin's buddy.
No, I know.
I mean actual Hobbes.
Yep.
You know, nasty, brutish, and shorts. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The internet sucks, except for us, because we're awesome.
Humanity is terrible.
More you than me.
Yeah.
All right, before we lost the thread like 20 minutes ago, too.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah,
Survivor Series. Give the guy the belt. That's all
Survivor Series happened.
Give him the belt. That main event was garbage.
Yep.
That main event, holy Christ, man. How about Shane McMahon being in the ankle lock for like 45 minutes?
Yeah.
I'm convinced Triple H was just bored. Like, all right, I'm bored now watching this.
I mean, is he ever not bored at this point? He's just getting his shit in at this point.
You know what the worst part about that entire main event was?
I mean, there are so many.
The worst part. Shane McMahon being jumped by Owens and Zayn and then chasing them back by himself in like 20 seconds.
Yeah. That was stupid.
I was literally laughing. I'm like, really? This is what we're doing now? I mean, I don't know. Whatever.
There's just
this company
too much stupidity.
It's like in 1 hour we had the glory of Brock AJ, and then we had this disaster. So
yeah.
Let's talk about Raw. Let's talk about women's debuts. I know you love women's wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a scouting report. on these 6 ladies?
Well, I mean, the big news was Paige's return finally to the company after a year away because of combinations of injuries, wellness policy suspensions, Alberto Del Rio being a
I did not hear any, but
fuckhead.
were there any stupid chants towards her? I did not hear any though.
There was a lot of cheering, and I'm really glad for that. So good job to the fans there in I guess what were they in Houston, I think. A good job to the fans.
Raw and Smackdown were the same spot as Survivor Series.
Yeah. So good job to the fans in Houston. Thank you for not being assholes.
Don't slut shame.
Because there was a lot of possibility for that to just be a fucking
very, very perturbed. Do not slut shame. It's not becoming of you.
Yeah.
Anybody. I was very perturbed about that, and I'm very happy that the better angels of people's nature took over.
Yeah.
Because she's been through a lot. Some of it has been self-inflicted, but a lot of it is not. She did not injure her own neck willingly. She was out for like a year because of that, right?
Yeah. And she did not force Alberto Del Rio to be an alcoholic douchebag.
Yeah. And then cut shoot promos, and then cut a promo on TNA that nobody believes in him.
Oh my god. That was a fucking horrendous exercise.
Oh, so bad. You missed it. You'd be glad you didn't watch it.
Oh, I am. I am so glad I didn't see it.
Fuck Alberto and fuck TNA. God. Yeah. But yeah, props to the fans for not rejecting Paige. And Paige has never really done anything for me in the ring, but I love her promo and I love her character.
Yeah. She definitely has some ability in the ring. But she's not
garbage.
She's not going to be. She's not any Manami Toyota. That's for sure.
No. Well, I mean, a very high bar.
There can only be one.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like Highlander.
Yeah,
but no. I shouldn't say she is a average to above average in-ring competitor. But I love her promo ability and I love her character work.
Yeah. I mean, she still is not making the best choice in people to hang out with, in that she's still. She's living with Seth Rollins' Nazi ex-girlfriend, but that's neither here nor there.
We talked about this at the time. Only in wrestling can living with Seth Rollins' Nazi ex-girlfriend be a step up from living with Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah.
Gun to your head.
Did you see
gun
the
news?
news?
Gun to your head if I told you you'd rather live with Seth Rollins' Nazi ex-girlfriend or Alberto Del Rio.
Oh, I pick Zara every day. But.
It's not often. It's not often where the Nazi ex-girlfriend. I guess the ex-girlfriend part's not really relevant. It's not often where the Nazi is a step up in your professional, in your relationship life. You know what I'm saying? Not relationship. Yeah. It's not often where the Nazi is better to hang out with the Nazi.
Yeah. than somebody else. Yeah. But
Berto.
That still is not any.
No, it's not good.
Not a good thing to say about Zara either.
And I don't mean
she's still crap.
She's she's just a different smelling kind of crap or whatever. So
she's not the kind of crap that will actively assault you. We'll call it that. But so Paige came back.
Don't be Nazi people, by the way. That goes without saying. So you're right. Paige came back and she had 2 friends.
Yes. Bringing up with her from NXT, Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. The arrival of Mandy Rose on the main roster, given that she has not been on NXT TV for close to a year, if not over a year at this point, was very welcome for me, because Mandy's actually really good at this professional wrestling thing, and she has just the built-in ability to get heat based on her appearance, because she is a beautiful woman, but she can also wrestle really well. But the fact that she is a beautiful woman and she started out as a model rather than as an amateur wrestler is going to get her heat with certain segments of the crowd immediately. And, more power to her, because she's going to be able to use that to great advantage on her part. Sonya Deville still needs some work, but she's a smart choice to bring up, because there can only be one badass MMA fighter in NXT, and when Shayna Baszler shows up in NXT, Sonya Deville is an afterthought. So bringing her up now rather than waiting is a much smarter move, in my opinion. So props to them.
Hair up and square up, right, Chris?
Yep. She's going to make it work. She's going to do a good job making that work.
Whoever sold for those punches, was that Sasha or Bailey? The first time did a great job.
I think it was actually Mickey.
I think you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. I did a great job. Props to Mickey.
Yeah.
Not like a first impression.
Yeah.
And when someone punches you in the face and you sell death, that's a first impression.
Yeah, for sure. That was really good. Unfortunately, we have to use this opportunity in advance to say goodbye to Alexa Bliss's career as a main eventer, because as soon as Vince is able to put the title on Mandy Rose, he's going to. I've already got this figured out. I'm going to give you my projection for
the class, my friend.
My projection for the Raw Women's Championship. I'm going to give it to you right now. Paige is going to beat Alexa for the title at the Rumble in a title match, or even a Clash of Champions. It might even be a Clash of Champions. Who knows?
It's Clash. I think Clash is Clash Raw or SmackDown?
I don't know.
I thought Clash was SmackDown.
Let's
find out. Let's find out.
Next in the chronological order, Clash of Champions.
WWE
it's a SmackDown champion.
Oh, there we go. So Alexa's gonna. She may lose the belt at a random Raw.
Or I think they're gonna save it for the Rumble. But Paige is gonna beat Alexa for the belt at the Rumble. Then Asuka is gonna beat Paige at Mania for the title. And then the stable's gonna break up from there. Mandy's gonna get a monster push coming out of that, and Mandy's gonna be the first one ever to pin Asuka and win the belt at SummerSlam. I'm calling it right now. That's my shot, and I am
as a heel.
As a heel, yeah. But she's going to be, she's still going to be the hot blonde, who will be, Vince's favorite as the champion. So
there's you're a West Wing fan, right?
Yep.
There's a great line in the West Wing where Josh says, "I make a habit of never arguing with Toby when he's right. Mm-hmm. You know what? I make a habit of never arguing with Chris when he's right." Yeah. I'm with you on that. When you laid it out like that, it makes sense to me, my friend.
For sure.
So when you're wrong, I'll make sure to remind you again. But
absolutely, yeah. I mean, if I am wrong, then 100%, I will.
It makes logical sense, and that's all you. And yes, you're applying logic to the WWE, which like
a dangerous prospect.
Very, but it does make logical sense. So I'm with you there.
Yeah. So
talk about the women on SmackDown.
Yeah, meanwhile, over on the SmackDown side, also the name of Paige's stable is Absolution, which I
don't hate.
I'm not really clear about where they came up with that, but you know what? It works. And I mean, if they're trying to use that as a way to imply that Paige is getting absolved of her sins for being away from the company and being with Del Rio for this long, and you know what? That's a stupid thing to do, but you know what? It's still a good name.
I don't like work shoot stuff. I never really have, and that seems to veer into work shoot properties.
Exactly, same thought for me. But you know what? It's still a good name, even if it has terrible.
I like the name. I like it better than Undisputed Era. That's for damn sure.
God, yeah, Undisputed Era is the worst stable name that is going in the company right now.
I mean, it's not good.
Yeah, not at all. Meanwhile, over on the SmackDown side, we have the Riot Squad. Ruby Riot, who now has 2 T's in her name, leading the group of her, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. Also, I think smart moves for these call-ups, given that as we discussed earlier, there are no heels right now in the NXT Women's Division, with the exception of the Iconic Duo. So calling these 3 up makes room for more faces, and turning them heel also gives a nice fresh spin on their characters, which is something that Liv Morgan desperately needed, and something that Sarah Logan is going to be able to capitalize on, just starting out creating her character from scratch, because all she had previously was the whatever minimal character work she had done on her few appearances on NXT and from her time in the Mae Young Classic. So this is going to be an interesting thing for Ruby Riot, though, because she was plucky babyface extraordinaire in NXT. She showed that she could throw down a scrap whenever she needed to, but she was playing the babyface role, and that's what people who watched her will be familiar with. But so watching her be the aggressor,
one of the problems with NXT is that every debuting character of any notoriety is automatically a face. If they're debuting from the indies.
Yes.
Because they have that, because they have that indie cachet, and look, it's so-and-so from the indies, and here's their new name, and they're cheered. That's fine. But I like this idea of. And I think Heidi Lovelace slash Ruby Riot can be an excellent heel. In fact, I know she can be an excellent heel.
Yes, absolutely,
So,
she can.
and Liv Morgan is. I don't know if she can work as a heel. I mean,
no, I think she's going to do a really good job with this.
I don't know if she can.
Looking at what she did these first 2 weeks, just kind of being like, I think of her as a less psychotic Harley Quinn.
Ooh.
As the character that she's going for, and I think it will work for her.
Okay,
being like the, in all appearances, sweet lass who will then just kick you in the face when you least expect it, or push you into the mud puddle when you're not looking. That kind of character I think will do wonders for her, and I think that the role she's going to play in the stable as that kind of character who looks nice and innocent but will shock you by being a complete asshole to you, is going to be a nice fresh take for her, because the character that she was playing in NXT, the face role she had in NXT, was just bland as hell. It's like, oh yeah. she's from New Jersey.
That's not a gimmick.
That's it.
That's not a gimmick.
Yeah, this will definitely work a lot better for her. As far as Sarah Logan goes, as I said, she didn't have a character really previously, but when she was on the Indies as Crazy Mary Dobson, deathmatch extraordinaire for women, she was always in situations where she was just beating the shit out of someone, regardless of whether she was the face or the heel. And I think that's going to be the role she's going to play here, where she's just going to be the mauler. She's going to get out there and just kick ass. Ruby as the stable leader, directing traffic and getting in there to deliver the finishing blows.
Are you more? I'm sorry. I didn't know you. Are you finishing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
Are you more looking forward to the Riot Squad, or are you more looking forward to Absolution?
Personally, I think the Riot Squad's going to be better, because I see Absolution as a short-term tool to reintroduce Paige and to make her a power player again after a long absence, but I don't see it lasting as long.
Okay.
I think the Riot Squad as a group can have a little bit more staying power in the SmackDown Women's division, because they've already shown that they will, they'll take all comers. They went after Charlotte and Natalya, and they've also gone after Naomi and Becky, and
that's true. They've been indiscriminate.
They're just agents of chaos right now, and that works.
Absolution is already
very clearly heels
after Asuka. Yeah.
Well, they made a play like they were going for Asuka,
but then let her get off. Let her get off. Let her back off.
Yeah.
So that's change pace. It keeps Asuka's mystique high too.
Yeah, and I think that using Riot Squad as a way to just refresh the matchups that have been going on in the SmackDown Women's division is
it's been getting very bland on that side.
They've been doing a lot of the same stuff. It's been a lot of the same things over and over again, and I think that this will be a good way to break that up. So I hope that is what they proceed with from here.
Of the 6, I think I'm most excited for. I think Ruby Riott. I think she could be very good on the main roster. Yeah. Not that she wasn't good at NXT, obviously. She was very good at NXT. But I think she could be, and she's the kind of person who gets her character so well that she could slot to face or heel when the time comes seamlessly.
Absolutely.
And she has a different look than she doesn't have the hair extensions, and she's got the ink everywhere, which, is a very unique look, which I think could serve her in the long run.
Yep. I think that the person who will have the most success bestowed upon them will be Mandy Rose, but I think the person who will have the most organic success will be Ruby Riott.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I don't like arguing with you when you're right, so I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't be surprised on an outside chance if Sarah Logan also manages to do an excellent job getting herself over, because
she has.
You know, she has the ability to just go out there on any random instance and just be the spark that that lights a whole matchup. I would be surprised if she.
I'm worried about Liv, and I'm worried about Sonya Deville. But
yeah, but I think Liv.
I mean, we say worried. I say worried, and that's a little strong. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being a mid-carder, male or female. Like not. I mean, the world needs ditch diggers too. You know what I'm saying? Or in this case, good hands to have good 9-minute matches.
Yeah, and Liv, I think, is someone who has the ability to just get people invested in her character without too much effort. I think she has the ability to just grab people's attention when they least expect it. I think that'll be what keeps her on pace with the other two in her group. Sonya is going to be harder to judge where she's at. I think that she's the one I'm most worried about, just because she's coming up with the she's coming up in a group where she's going to clearly stand out from the other two as being less capable in certain areas. She's definitely not as strong of a promo as either Paige or Mandy, and her ring work is definitely going to stand out more as being a little bit less fine-tuned than the other two. But I mean, if she can keep up, if she can learn on a fast curve, I think she'll be okay. But
we have seen it in the past MMA fighters, and I think she's a judoka in her previous existence. And people of that ilk with that combat sports background learn on the fly. I'm looking at you, Matt Riddle.
Mm-hmm.
To a lesser extent, Kurt Angle when he debuted.
Yeah.
So if she is given the time in front of a live crowd, reps. I talk reps. You need reps. And the house show circuit, if she's paired with Mickie James or Sasha Banks or someone who can lead her by the hand and get good matches out of her on the regular, I think there's something there. I think the kernel of something is there.
Yeah.
But I think you're definitely right that Paige and Mandy are ahead of her.
Yeah. Matt.
At the time.
Matt, good question. He asked
questions.
If we're worried about a bad storyline for Sonya because she's openly out as being gay at some point, not right now. It's definitely a possibility. I mean, that's it's inherent in any in any situation with WWE.
I don't. But it is a valid question. I don't think we'll have to worry about that, given how there wasn't one for Darren Young, thankfully.
Yeah, but Darren Young is also a man.
Yeah.
That's really the problem. For me, is that when you get right down to it,
right. I didn't even think of that. Son of a bitch.
The treatment of women versus the treatment of men on the main roster has always been markedly different, and I think now I am perturbed. Now that you brought that up, and rightfully so. Yeah, there is always the possibility of that. I hope against hope.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope not.
But it certainly could happen, and if it does, I will be exceptionally angry because Sonya does not deserve that just because of her chosen sexual preference. No. Nobody deserves that.
Not even chosen. Not even chosen. It's who you are, right?
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, that was
no, you're right. I mean, I'm not picking on you. Just like it's not. It's who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are we still fighting these battles? It's so absurd to me.
It is.
Yeah, I hope not. I certainly hope not. I hope that she sinks or swims on her own merits, and her sexual orientation has nothing to do with it one way or the other.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I want to talk about 205 Live if you're done with Raw and SmackDown, unless there's anything else.
Well, the only other thing to note on Raw and SmackDown is that Becky Lynch was written off via Riot Squad attack.
Oh, her selling was so great, by the way. Thank you for bringing that up.
Job with that.
She sold that. The way she sold that beatdown. I mean, it was so good job on you, Becky.
Yeah. She's been written off in an injury angle, and The Miz lost his Intercontinental Championship to Roman Reigns, and they are both written off the show for the time being. via injury angles.
Good match, by the way. Shocker, Roman Reigns had a good match.
Yeah.
Shocker,
surprise,
right?
Surprise. Only one of the best in the company. You know?
I was about to say, shocker.
Match, yeah.
Shocker, one of the best wrestlers on the planet had a good match.
Yeah.
But he really is damn good, by the way. I really wish the other bullshit never happened. He's so good.
Yeah.
So.
The reason they were written off is because they're going to be out filming the Marine 6.
Astonishes me that there's been 6 of these movies.
Yeah. By the time they will be out for the time being. And the other person appearing in that movie will be Shawn Michaels. So yeah,
I'm still bummed we never got a buddy cop movie between The Miz and Becky Lynch with Shawn Michaels as the exasperated sergeant.
Yeah, that's not.
I thought that would have been I thought that'd be a good plot. I mean, if it's on Netflix in a year and I'm surfing the Netflix and on a random Wednesday, I may watch it, but I'm not gonna go out of the way and look and buy this movie.
That would be spectacular if it did happen. But yeah, so they are off the show for now. Roman Reigns is now Intercontinental Championship. He had his first defense against Jason Jordan this week, and
I thought it was Elias. Oh, that was.
Oh yeah, no, it was against Elias. I'm sorry.
And he sold way too much.
Yeah,
this is the problem. This is not on Roman, and I want to. Roman is screwed because he's such a good seller. So the company says, let's have him sell. No, bitches. This is your power face. He should not be selling for Elias. He should beat the shit out of Elias.
That match should have
been over. Why are we
over.
Protecting Elias? It's freaking Elias.
That match should have been over in 4 minutes.
Yes.
But
because Roman is too good at selling, they have him sell for God knows why.
Yeah.
What do you do? Why is Elias getting any offense on this guy? He's not only the future of the company, but he's a main eventer, and you're Elias.
Yeah, like I said, we've already started. The build is already on its way to underdog Roman once again facing Brock
at WrestleMania, which I don't want. I want Rockstar Roman, Power Roman, who
I want them on an equal. I want them on an equal playing field.
Yes,
that's so hard to do.
I want 2 guys who have destroyed everything in their path. I want Batman versus Superman.
Yeah,
that's a better story than underdog Roman or underdog anybody. I just saw underdog guy versus Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles.
Yeah.
I don't need to see it again.
We don't need this.
No, just give me Batman versus Superman. Only hopefully better than that terrible ass movie was.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, so that's the thing that occurred. The only other notable things to talk about. The Bludgeon Brothers had their debut. Yeah. They beat up the Hype Bros twice. Harper and Rowan look great.
They do.
Despite this ridiculous new gimmick, they still look great. They're still both very good in the ring. They're still a great tag team. I love the bit of Harper slapping Rowan in the face before throwing him on the Irish Whip in. That I think is just an amazing touch. Just to kind of give that little bit of differentiation from the Wyatt bit, because they desperately need that, because this still has a lot of similarities to the Wyatt gimmick. So adding this little bit of extra psychosis for them, I think they should
trim the facial hair too to give them even more differentiation.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that either. I mean, Harper's rocked the beard for years, even though it's indie.
I don't need to be clean shaven, but I mean, I think they could just a little less of the scraggly homeless man look,
Yeah, they could do with that, but yeah. So, still a great tag team. Really glad that they are back.
War Machine 2.0. What's not to like?
Yeah. And concurrently to that, the Hype Bros have finally had their breakup too. This week, after their second defeat by the Bludgeon Brothers, Mojo Rawley turned on Zack Ryder in the middle of Zack Ryder delivering an in-ring promo and beat the snot out of him. So it looks like we're getting serious Mojo as a full-time thing.
I'm happy with Serious Mojo. I like Serious Mojo.
Yeah, I do too. He's done yeoman's work redefining himself since that Under the Giant Memorial Battle Royal win. And it feels like for the guy who has had the least bit of hullabaloo made about his winning the Under the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, he's done the most with it in terms of where he was previously. So props to Mojo for that. And is there anything else? Not really.
I want to talk about 205 Live if there's nothing else.
Yeah. I mean, everything else is just killing time.
Have you seen this survey that WWE sent out asking why people don't watch 205 Live?
I have not, but
so there's this survey. I did not get this email. They're emailing it to subscribers saying, with a list of reasons why you don't watch 205 Live. Some of them are like, because there's too much programming, the storylines aren't interesting, there's not enough time in the day. List of reasons as to why you don't watch 205 Live, or why a person receiving this email doesn't watch 205 Live.
Yeah.
I think I know why nobody watches 205 Live, or a few people. Because it's the exact same as every other division, only with little dudes.
Yep.
You know what made the WCW Cruiserweights awesome? Because they were allowed to go crazy and do shit that no one else in the card was capable of.
Yeah.
The 205 Live guys are talented, and they put on good matches. I talked about Gulak and Ali earlier this year. But they're molded into the same house style as everyone else.
Yeah.
In the WCW, you could enjoy the old broken down shitty wrestlers in the main event because they cut good promos and they were stars.
Mm-hmm.
And you could enjoy the undercard guys for the cool flippy shit they did.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference between 205 Live and the main roster is that the 205 Live guys are smaller, pushed less, and not taken as seriously.
Yep.
But it's not just that. There's also the problem that the average WWE worker is a lot better, Chris, than the old days. The difference in 1997 between like Eddie Guerrero and Hollywood Hulk Hogan was just gigantic, as I'm sure you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Style-wise, work rate rise. There's not a ton of difference between like Seth Rollins and Rich Swann. You know?
Yeah.
Like when I'm seeing good matches on the main roster, I don't need to see good matches on 205 Live. And one more thing about 205 Live, why I don't watch it. Unless you present the weight classes as equals, like in the UFC, it just kills my interest.
Yeah.
I only barely give a shit about the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title, and that is like awesome wrestling and awesome wrestlers.
Yes.
And I barely care because it's presented as inferior because it's the heavyweight title.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
you're preaching to the choir here. I've been saying a lot of this stuff for
that's why 205 Live doesn't work, because it's the same show. If 205 Live was just like 6 like cool trios matches of guys doing dives, great. Give me some, but I think weight classes in general in wrestling do not work.
Yeah.
I don't think they work.
Well, I've said for for a very long time since the cruiserweights became a regular thing that the WWE style and reducing them to the WWE style is going to inherently limit them and make them not as enjoyable to watch.
And I've seen at a time, if I watch 205 live, it will be hour 5 and it will be hour 6 of watching WWE style wrestling in 2 days.
Yeah.
Like, I'm tapping out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
forget about it if it's on a pay-per-view week, especially.
Oh my God, you're right.
If it's on a pay-per-view, it's like, forget it.
I'm tapping out.
You can just kiss that goodbye. I'm
something different. That's all I'm asking for with 205 Live.
Yeah.
You know what the pressing part is? The show itself is fine.
Yeah. They've had great stuff, great writing.
They've had really good stuff.
But the problem is that they can't do what they can't do what they are good at doing. When you get right down to it, they're not allowed to do the things that are going to make the crowd believe that it is the most exciting hour on television, like they say in all the fucking WWE.
Being taped in a morgue doesn't help either, by the way. But
yeah, but it's like you're trying to tell me that this is the most exciting hour on television, but you're not letting these guys do anything that's exciting. It's the same stuff that we have seen from other people, who are bigger and given more time to do it in. Most matches on 205 Live are only going for like 8 to 10 minutes. We're not talking about like, these blockbuster events that are, taking up huge amounts of time. Most of these matches are over fairly quickly, and trying to remember, significant events that have happened in them is damn near fucking impossibility because they just feel the same. They feel the same as everything else, and nobody has an opportunity to really do what they excel at. I am stoked as hell. Like so many other people, I am stoked as hell for Mustafa Ali Cedric Alexander feud that seems to be in the works. But I know that the matches that they're going to have are going to be inferior to what they could do.
Yes.
Because they're not allowed to do what they could do if they were given their full skill set to use. Those two guys could tear the house down in the main event of a pay-per-view, but nobody's ever going to fucking know it because they're restricted from doing anything that makes them different. So what's even the point of that?
Right.
With that?
They're presented as inferior and presented as smaller, and their strengths are being diminished while the weaknesses are being highlighted.
Yep.
And that's not successful in any line of work.
Yep.
So
what do we talk about? Put your performers in a position to succeed.
What's up?
Sorry? We've always said, the thing we've always said, put
That's
your
it.
performers in a position to succeed.
That's it.
And they are not doing that with these guys.
No,
Not
and that's
at all.
why 205 Live is failing.
Yeah.
Which is too bad because the show itself is pretty good. Not the current stretch where it's all Enzo all the time. I'm talking like where it was like Ali and Gulak and
the guys on the show outside of Enzo and outside of Enzo and outside of Noam Dar, who I still don't understand what the fuck happened to Noam Dar, but outside of the two of them,
is TJ Perkins hurt?
I have no idea.
Lindsay Dorado we know is like, MIA.
He was never going to be used too much in the first place because luchadors don't get used very much in WWE. The same thing for fucking Grand Metalik. And it's criminal that the two of them are as underused as they are because they are both exceptional performers. Lindsay Dorado had stellar career in Chikara, and Grand Metalik is one of the best to ever come out of Mexico.
But what made the Cruiserweight Challenge so good is that they were allowed to be cruiserweights.
Yep. That's why the Cruiserweight Classic was...
Classic, thank you.
Still an amazing bit of WWE programming that I would love to go back and watch.
Like, why should I care about little guys doing chin locks when I don't care about big guys doing chin locks?
Yeah. So
that's why 205 Live is not going anywhere, in my estimation. So I wanted to highlight that because of that survey.
Yeah.
Which, if you've not seen on Twitter, you will, or on Facebook or wherever you get your wrestling news.
It's very silly. It was a very silly decision for them to send that out because, I'll tell you something. They can send out all the surveys they want. They can, ask us all the questions they want. But it doesn't matter because the answers that they're going to get are not going to be the ones that are that they're going to take action on.
Exactly. So it's too bad because the show itself isn't bad, like I said, or at least it wasn't bad before it became all Enzo all the time.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I'm not watching on the regular now, because all Enzo all the time is the last fucking thing I want to watch.
Yeah, I don't need that. I'm good. So, got anything else, my friend?
World Tag League updates.
Talk about that for a little bit.
World Tag League is about halfway done at this point, I'd say. Most of the teams have most of the teams have gone through
3 or 4 wins.
Yeah, we've gone through four matches. Yeah, 4 matches at this point. Block A is a fucking huge tie. We've got Juice Robinson and Sami Callihan in the lead with 6 points. Manabu Nakanishi and Yuji Nagata at the bottom of the bracket with 2 points, and everybody else is 4. So nobody knows what's going to happen in Block A right there. By the way, Sami Callihan is being an asshole in New Japan right now. Part of his shtick in matches is that he is kissing his opponents against their will, and he's spitting all over the place.
Ugh.
So
That's kinda stupid.
Sammy, cut it the fuck out.
Yeah,
on the other side, in Block B, it's a little more. It's more of a tie, but in a different way. We got a 4-way tie for first between the 4 teams that I said had the best chance of winning the block, or three of the 4 teams I said had the best chance of winning the block, and 1 team that I'm surprised to see there. Leading Block B with 6 points, we have War Machine, Hanson and Ray Rowe. We have Killer Elite Squad, Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Lance Archer. We have the Best Friends of Beretta and Chucky T. And we have the Gorillas of Destiny, Tamatonga, and Tangaloa. And then tied with 4 points apiece, we have Jeff Cobb and Michael Logan and Tomohiro Ishii and Toru Yano. Bringing up the back of the block with 0 points apiece, David Finlay and Kitsuya Kitamura and Henare and Togi Makabe. So, yeah, this is a weird World Tag League right now.
Very strange.
As it stands, I would not be surprised, as upsetting as it is to say this, I would not be surprised if Juice Robinson and Sami Callihan did end up winning Block A. And that's entirely because of how Sami Callihan is behaving right now. That's just disgusting.
Yeah,
Juice,
it's very dumb.
Juice is
not your prediction, Sami Callihan.
Yeah, Juice is doing great stuff though, and I retweeted a GIF of him today from their match that they just had. I want to say it was against Paige and Takahashi, or no. It was actually they were in a non-World Tag League 6-man or 8-man match against members of the Bullet Club, and Juice comes in and hits a move on somebody, and then he does these ridiculous crotch chops, and then pretends to hold up a 2-sweet and turns it into a middle finger.
Fun!
Yeah, you might want to tone down the crotch chops a smidge, but when Juice turns into "fuck you, I don't care," Juice, I love it. I love it when he does that.
Yeah, it gives him depth. It gives him depth.
Yeah. So, for Juice to win. The name I forgot. The name of their team is Death Juice.
Ooh. Yeah.
I
would have gone with Juicy Death.
Yeah, that would have been better. But
Juicy Death would have been better.
Or for Juice.
Or I would have just told Sami Callihan not to show up. But
yeah, I would have given him another. I would have given him another tag partner personally, but that's neither here nor there.
Who is Elgin and Cobb? Right? Are they a team?
Yeah, they got 4 points right now, but I mean they're only.
Elgin's had, and we'll talk about this next week. Elgin's had such a hellacious year, and he deserves better than being in the 6-man tag. Or I hope he and Cobb end up weight belts at the Dome, because that's the year he's had in New Japan. He deserves better than being in the Rambo or in the 6-man tag. He deserves an actual marquee opponent.
And I will say there is another awesome gift that I saw today from Cobb and Elgin's match against Beretta and Chucky T. Beretta goes for a crossbody on Cobb. Cobb grabs him out of the air, puts him up on his shoulders for a power bomb. Chuck runs in, also goes for a crossbody on Cobb while Cobb is still holding Beretta, and Cobb catches him too. And then Elgin assists him in a combined power slam power bomb combo on the two of them.
Awesome! I love big guys throwing around little guys, makes me happy.
Unfortunately, Beretta and Chucky T wound up going on to win the match, but
all
the same though, that was a hell of a spot.
Ooh,
yeah. What are you gonna do though?
Can't have the world.
Yeah,
you're right.
I wish we could, because
yeah,
it'd
be a cool place with lots of wrestling
and lots of shitty wrestling fans being told to fuck off and die, and then being forced to do so. But that's neither here nor there. I'm a terrible person, by the way, in case anybody wasn't aware. But
no, you're not.
I have my moments.
That's okay.
Either way, so that's World Tag League.
You're allowed to be a terrible person.
Like I said, I'm still expecting Juice and Sammy to win Block A, and out of Block B, I don't know, War Machine. At this point, I have no freaking idea.
I have no interest in watching War Machine versus Killer Elite Squad.
Yeah, me neither. Especially not after fucking how many matches in a row of that over the course of the Destruction shows.
Exactly.
I would love for it to be somebody else. I would.
Elgin Cobb, man.
Yeah,
that would be great.
Elgin Cobb going on to win World Tag League and facing down Killer Elite Squad would be spectacular stuff. I would have no problem with that.
As neither would I.
So
I don't know.
See what happens. Who do you think is going to be? Do you have
I think it's be War Machine.
any
I think it's
prediction?
be War Machine. I don't want it to be War Machine though, but I think it's to be War Machine.
Yeah. Sucks.
War Machine versus Juicy Death.
Do you think Juicy Death wins it, or do you think that?
No, I think War Machine wins it and faces Killer Elite Squad and the Gorillas of Destiny because Gato doesn't care about his tag team division.
Yeah,
Mike Elgin after the year he's had getting relegated to the Rambo makes me very sad.
Yeah,
really sad.
Yeah, even like last year being relegated to the Rambo coming off of his injury.
Yeah, but that was at least coming off an injury. But this year, after the match with Naito, and after the G1 he's had, and all the other good matches he's had, he deserves better than being in the Rambo.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it's very disappointing, but
it is. But we'll see. Maybe they do.
Hopefully they prove us wrong.
We'll see.
All right. I think that's it. You have anything else?
I have nothing else.
All right. Plugs and goodbyes.
Sure.
Podcasting friends to continue checking out. I want to give a special shout out to our friend Ambrose Alley, who has announced that she will soon be starting up a podcast centered around CZW.
Must listen, by the way, because she's super knowledgeable about that stuff.
Yep, that is
and a cool person.
Yep, that is in the works. As soon as we have a name and a time and all of that stuff, we will definitely be plugging the hell out of that show. So keep an ear and an eye out for that. Of course, always our podcasting friends at Shooting Debris now on Saturday mornings. They also did a scheduling change, so they are now on Saturday mornings.
10 Central, I think, is the new time.
Yeah. With Taker's Minion and Mr. Dr. Senju. I believe that we're going to be on there for something involving the Royal Rumble.
They're doing a year-end show.
Year-end show.
Late December, I think the 29th or the 30th, whatever that Saturday is.
That's
December,
what it was,
they're doing a year-end show, like with like 4 or 5 people. So we're going to talk end of the year, year review,
like
that.
Yeah, we'll be on there. Check them out.
Breakfast with the boys. It'll be fun. Yep. Or in the case of Mr. Dr. Senju, very late dinner because the guy lives in Japan.
Yep. Yeah, dinner and sake for him. Also, of course, our Fizzy's back in World of Wrestling. I don't know if they're back yet from their short break, but I know that they actually had an episode last week. Mr. Dr. Senju subbing in for Don Sal.
Speaking of Don Sal, he'll be on with us next week.
Yeah, he will be on with us next week, yes.
We are doing our year-end show.
Yes, we are. We're doing our Observer Awards. So
we're filling out the show ballot.
But I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm not sure when he's going to be back for Fizzy's show. But hopefully that'll be soon. I'll be sure to get more information so that we can properly plug. Well, he can give us the information next week so we can properly plug the show for them. And also, our other podcasting friends, the Married Marks, Festlock Feministas, and Not Your Demographic, all great shows. You should definitely check them out. They're on all podcasting subscription circulation venues. Be sure to look them all up. Follow them on social media. We're actually going to be having at least one, if not both, of the Married Marks on our Royal Rumble specialty show that will be coming up in January, among other special guests. So be sure to check that out when it takes place. I'll have more details for that coming up throughout the month of December and January. I think that's it for plugs. Is that it for plugs? Yes,
that's it. Yeah,
that's it for plugs.
Sounds
yes.
It.
Be sure to follow us on Twitter at 2guys1sport, number 2, number 1 in the handle. And also be sure to follow us on iTunes. If you are not subscribed, the link is below the video in the description. Follow us, give us a rating, give us a recommendation. We appreciate all that you guys do to help us be publicized further. Be sure to tell everybody.
Y'all are good people.
Be sure to tell everybody you know who listens or is a fan of wrestling to check us out, and be sure to let them know about the time change as well. We are now on Thursdays full time going forward, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. We'll keep you updated if that ever has to change. But Thursday should be a much more stable night for us because far fewer things happen on Thursdays. So, And that's it. Take us out.
That's Chris. I'm George. As always, sincere thank you for listening to us, for moving with us to Thursdays. We hope you've enjoyed your evening. Shoot, as I almost did earlier today, but I caught myself at the last minute. Don't work yourself. Almost. I walked up to the edge of the cliff, and I looked over the cliff, and I saw the burning cauldron of fire, and I walked back. But don't work yourself into a shoot. As always, thank you for listening. That's Chris. I'm George. Enjoy your weekend, everybody.
Episode 38 is in the books. Good night.